What's up, guys? It's your boy, Reese Boy, back with another video, guys. Okay, so today what I'm having for breakfast, and it's so funny because I was just talking to my other best friend about it last night. We are having, and I don't like this stuff right here. No, this is not happening. I'm not eating that. Okay, guys, so what we're having is, it's a Jamaican dish, guys. A lot of people say it looks like eggs, but it's called ackee. It is a Jamaican dish. If you've ever been to Jamaica, then you've had it before. This is what it looks like. It looks like eggs, guys, but it's not. It's ackee. You guys all know. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not, but my dad, my uncle, my aunt, and my grandma and my grandpa, they're all from Jamaica. And then all my siblings have Jamaican blood in them. I was adopted, so technically I don't, but people say that I'm like half Jamaican, but then people say there's no such thing, half Jamaican, you're in or you're out. So I'm just like, well, then I'm full on Jamaican, even though my blood is not Jamaican, but still my father's Jamaican, my grandma's Jamaican, my grandpa's Jamaican, and my uncle and uncle are Jamaican. So anyways, I grew up in a Jamaican household. And so ackee is, and it's so funny because I was just thinking about this yesterday, and I was just talking to my best friend about it too in New York. D, what's up? Shout out to you, girl. One of my best friends. I have a lot of best friends. But I was just thinking about it because I was like, I haven't had some good ackee in a long time. And so ackee is a plant that grows on a tree, and it looks like, I don't know how to describe it right, but I think it looks almost like a mango or something. But you have to cook it right because it's poisonous. It's a poisonous plant, basically, or vegetable or fruit. I don't know what it is. I think it's a vegetable, but it looks like egg. It's like yellow like egg, and it looks like egg. And then this is called a dumpling, and a dumpling is basically just dough, and you basically make it like this, and it's really good. And then what you do is you put it all on the dumpling like this. Oh, we didn't say grace. We put it like that. Oh, and someone wanted me to pray to Allah. I don't know how to do that. And I guess that's in your guys' type of religion, but that's not my religion. No offense to anybody. I'm Christian, non-denomination. And I just don't, all I do is I just pray to God because that's who I know my whole life. So no offense to anybody. We're all family here. We're all welcome. I don't judge at all. But I don't pray to Allah. I don't know how to pray to Allah and different stuff like that. So anyways, let's take a rest. Dear God, bless this food and bless this time. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, guys. Oh, and pray for all the prayer requests this morning. In Jesus' name, amen. So anyways, guys, so this is what you do. You put it on a dumpling like that, and that's what it looks like. You put it on a dumpling like that, and then you just eat it. But, and then it looks like this. Some people put tomatoes, onions, bacon. Growing up, we put a lot of different stuff. My mom knows how to make it. My sisters know how to make it. My brothers know how to make it. From learning. You all learn. Like, that was like one of the first dishes that you learn in this family to make. From my dad. And my mom. And my grandma. And my aunt. And my uncle. But I haven't learned how to make it yet. I know how, kinda. But I know how to make cabbage and cod, and that's another Jamaican dish. And I think it is a Puerto Rican dish too, if I'm wrong. So I need to learn how to make ackee next for a YouTube video. I think I'll do that. Maybe when my dad can make videos with me next year, then we can do that. We can make some video. We can make these together. But guys, on a sad note, guys, I wanted to talk about a story I never shared with you, and if I did, I'm totally sorry if I did, guys. But for the new people, because I've got a new follower stream of new people this year, I wanted to share. I might have to go back and look. I might have shared it, but I might have not shared it. Okay, so you know how everyone's about gun safety and all that different stuff nowadays, and they're talking about like a lot of different stuff that's happening with all these different issues that have happened in schools and in nightclubs and just everywhere. It reminded me when it wasn't. I mean, this has been happening for years, way before I was born, way before half of you guys were born. This has been going on since the 1800s, but not as bad. But anyway, so in 2006, we moved to Florida, right? And I was homeschooled. I was in a Christian school, got kicked out. I already told you guys that story. I didn't do anything really bad. I'll tell you guys that story again later. Maybe tomorrow. For the newcomers. Excuse me, I'm burping. Um, and then I went to I got kicked out of that one. Then I went to a regular public school, had the best time ever. And then I went to Miamisburg High School. Then I moved to Florida, and then I went to University High School that was mostly all Puerto Ricans, and I had friends with everybody and dated a bunch of Puerto Rican girls because that's just what I'm attracted to. So, anyways, and then I went to Timber Creek High School and graduated from Timber Creek High School. So we moved here in 2005 or six, I'm not sure. When I because I never stayed at the same school for 2 years. I always moved because I'm an Air Force brat, so we always moved. Um, when I went to Timber Creek in 2007, 2006, it would have been my sophomore year. So I think I was 16. So my sophomore year, we moved into this house. This house was built finally. March of 2007, this house was built. So I could have stayed with my grandparents, but they were like, no, you need to go, So, because then I could just finish out my years. It was only 2 more years. But they were like, no. And so I moved into this house with my parents. So when I went to Timber Creek, I met a bunch of people. I had a lot of friends, right? And I had some old friends that were coming over to the new school too. It wasn't a new school, but they were zoned for this area. And so that was cool. And then some of my old friends that were at university, they came to Timber Creek like a year before I did. So it was really cool to see them. And then I stayed in special classes because they didn't even try to work with me. It made me really mad. But then I met this dude named Michael. And Michael and me became friends because we were in this little Bible study that we started in the mornings. And we become friends. We would hang out after school, before school, on the weekends or whatever. He would come to youth group with me a lot because his mom was a single mom and she was working hard, and she was never home because she was a nurse. And it was just him. I don't remember how many siblings he had. I don't remember. But I know that we became like really, really, really good friends. I don't want to say we were, I do and I don't want to say we were best friends because I don't think we ever even said that. Like, we never said we're best friends to each other. I think we just said we were friends, but we were really, really, really close. Like, if I wasn't at his house, he was at my house. If I wasn't if we weren't going away for like school stuff, because we both were in sports. Like, I was doing football, he was doing soccer. So I would go to his games, he would go to my game, just to support each other. But anyways, so guys, see, that's what it looks like. Ackee onion. So he told me he met this girl, right? And I was like, cool. But she went to this other school. And this was May of 2007. So I just went into my junior year. It was my junior year. It was his junior year too. We both were juniors. And we were like, we wanted to get an apartment together. We wanted to like go to schools on scholarships, whatever. I knew he would go on a scholarship because he was so good, but I was like in special needs classes and I didn't know how they would work that for somebody. And then plus I just didn't know how that would have worked out. Like, do they still give scholarships to people that are special needs? I didn't know. So he's talking to this girl, right? And at this time, Sidekicks just came out. So you would, and then you would just, and then, so, sorry guys, I'm pausing a lot because I'm trying to chew and I'm trying to think about this because it's very emotional. I haven't thought about it in a long time. So, I remember this day, like he was talking to this girl for a while, right? And the ex-boyfriend was still in the picture, right? But I was like, yo, be careful, like, you know, because you don't know the situation. And she's like, no, like, I don't like him like that. Like, we've only dated one time years ago, and he's just always been addicted to me. Like, he's always been attached to me. Like, he won't leave me alone. And, you know, we would all go hang out and double date, whatever, chill, whatever, have fun, go out to eat, go bowling, whatever. Go to soccer games, different stuff. And I remember that I just always told him to be careful. I was always just like, bro, be careful, be careful, be careful. Because you don't know, like, this could be a crazy ex-boyfriend. This could be someone crazy. I was just always like, be careful, be careful. And then she was like, nah, it's good, it's good, it's good. I'll never forget, like, May. I remember that morning, like, so vividly. I remember we hanged out the weekend before. We hanged out, like, because it was like Monday, right? We hanged out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was like a 4-day weekend or something. I don't remember what it was. It was some holiday. Because I think we, like, got out of school. Like, we had no school Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No. It was just a regular weekend. Now that I think about it, it was just a regular weekend. So we hanged out, like, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And then we would go to church Sunday night. And he would come to youth group. And everybody loved him at the youth group. And I remember that morning, I felt weird that morning. Like, I really felt weird. Like, I met up with my best friend at the time, Jamie, my other best friend. And we walked to the bus stop. And then we got on the bus. And then we had a different bus driver that day. So I was like, that's weird. And then, like, just things were off that day. Like, things were off. Like, I remember I couldn't find my shoes. And I always left my shoes by the front door. I couldn't find my phone. My phone was always next to my bed. Like, it was just really off that day. And then I remember saying there's tomatoes in there too. So, the way that our school was set up, our school was like an old Catholic looking church, right? And it was set up like the UCF college. It was so big, right? Because you had the freshmen that were across the street, and then you had the upper class that was across the street. So they just didn't mix that much. Only like really at lunchtime, or if you had a little brother over there, or a little sister, or whatever, or cousin, you could go hang with them. And they were still like hazing high school, like freshmen and stuff, and throwing them in trash cans, and they were just doing different stuff. Newcomers, they were bullies. It was mostly the bullies that did that. So like, this morning, I remember, like, I saw him in the breezeway going to, like, you know, the first bell rang and everything. And I remember I saw him. I was like, yo, what's up, bro? He's like, nothing. He's like, all right, I'll see you at lunch. I was like, yeah. So usually we would sit and talk, but the bus was running late that day too. And then he was trying to get to class, and he was texting her or whatever. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll see you at lunch. He's like, all right, peace. And then I went off to first period class. My first period class was OGT, where you would go off. I know was that the last period of the day or the first period? No, I have it backwards. My first period class was English. English was my first period class, where I had to read. So that was my first period class. Oh my God. I got it on my shirt. This is so good, guys. I can't wait for you guys to try it. So I'm trying to remember exactly everything that happened, so I don't leave anything out. Oh yeah. Okay. So we went to lunch. We saw each other at lunch. We hanged out. We sat there. I would hold a spot for him in line, because the lines got really long at lunchtime. And we had like this little picnic area where it was caged off or something, but we like always sat at this one table across from the people who did Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. Like they were like really nerdy. No offense, but they just were there. You didn't mess with their cards because they would attack you. But they were really cool too. Like I was friends with a lot of them. So we met over there. We hanged out, like my girlfriend, or not his girlfriend, because his girlfriend went to another school, but my girlfriend and me. And then I was there with some of my other friends too. Sorry. The bell rang, and then we went off, and I was like, yo, I'll see you after school at the bus stop. He was like, all right. He's like, all right. So we left. He went to his classes, I went to my classes. Then I remember my last period class was OJT, so I would go off and work at like the hospital. Or not the hospital, I would go off and work at like Joann's in Waterford Lakes. It's like a mall. Basically just bag stuff and like put stickers on stuff. Like that was my job for like 2 hours out of the day. And then we'd come back, and then they would bring us back like right before the bell rang, like all the time. And then the bell would ring and you'd go home. So that was how I spent my days. So I remember I'm walking up, right? And it's so quiet, guys. Like so quiet, right? It like never is this quiet. You usually hear pitter patter, your feet, you hear people laughing and screaming and, hey, wait for me, stuff like that. This day, it was so quiet. And I remember there's like all these people in this corridor, and there's a fight happening. And I'm just like, oh, whatever, not even thinking about it or anything. And then the next thing I know, someone screams knife. And then the next thing I know, I see this person just fall to the floor. And I'm like, wait, I know that face and I know that outfit, but it wasn't like registering in my head yet. And then like all of a sudden it like clicked, and I ran up there and I'm screaming, no. And then the dude runs off, right? And I'm like, someone needs to follow him. In my head, I'm thinking someone needs to follow him, but I'm too worried about my friend that's literally there bleeding, right? So people screaming, and it was like close enough to like the front door of where the office was. So then they were able to come out really quick, and then they're like shooing everybody away. But then all the principals and all the deans and everyone were at the bus loop. So they're trying to move him. You don't move an injured body because you can make the wounds worse. You're not supposed to move an injured body. You learn that from TV shows. You learn that from even cartoons. You're not supposed to move an injured body. But the people wanted to move. His sister went to our school, so she's freaking out. And then like the superstar of our football team, our basketball team, he was like, nah, we got to move him. And I'm like, no. So they end up they move him, right? And this is probably what made it worse. They move him. Then finally the deans and the principal, they see him. They're on the radio. We need 911. So then because they're like, the person is still on the campus, they shut down the campus, right? They make all of us go on our buses, right? And then they're there with him. So I'm literally watching him take his last breath and everything right in front of my bus, holding his sister, right? And we're both crying because we know it's bad, right? I promise you not. It took the fire departments, I felt like it was 3 hours. It felt like it took forever. The helicopters were there before the ambulance was to put it all over the news. And I remember my mom was freaking out. My grandma was freaking out. My uncle was freaking out. Everyone was freaking out because they knew that that was my school. And they were like, is he okay? What happened? Because at that time it just said that someone got stabbed, someone is injured, and, they're looking for the person. So I remember we were there for like, literally, we would be home by like before 3 o'clock. We would always be home at like 2:45 or something like that. 3 o'clock came, 4 o'clock came, 5 o'clock came, 6 o'clock came. We didn't get home until almost 7 o'clock that night. Like it was that long of a lockdown. They found the coward, I want to say so much worse to call him, hiding in a classroom under a desk, crying because he knew he messed up. In his favorite teacher's room, who's been the whole 5 hours trying to get him to turn himself in because the SWAT team came. Everybody was there. And when I'm sitting there on the bus watching my best friend die, right, I'm thinking like, this is real life. Like, this is not a joke anymore. This is not a Lifetime movie. This is not some type of movie. He's not going to pop back up and be okay. This is real life. Like, this is not fake. Like, this is real. And I remember his sister she cried and cried and cried, and I cried with her. And then finally they took us home, and she lived around the corner from me. It was his half sister, but they lived around the corner from me. And when we lived with my grandparents, or no, when we lived at the new house, and I I remember when I came in the door and my mom just looked at me and she could, like, I looked like a zombie. Like, I felt nothing. I was numb, like, literally numb. I felt nothing. And I remember my mom just hugged me, and I don't even remember her hugging me. I just remember her being like, I was so worried. You need, like, she was like, nope, we're getting you a phone. Cause me and my dad were sharing a phone. So she's like, no, we're getting you a phone, because I would have called you and be like, are you okay? And she's like, nope, we're getting you a phone. And so they went and got us, me and my brother, both a phone, because we both didn't have phones at the time. Um, and I just remember just crying. I remember I wanted to take a shower because I had stuff on me. I had blood on me and whatever from holding him. And I remember, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get emotional because I just saw his face. Um, I remember, I don't want to cry. Uh, I remember taking a shower, and I remember hearing his voice say, I'm okay. Like, I just remember hearing a voice say, I'm okay. Like, just, he's like, I'm okay. It's fine, Matthew. I'm okay. Like, I've never heard voices before, and I thought I was going crazy, but it was just this peace that just came over me. Like he came from heaven. It was just like, he touched my shoulder and was like, I'm okay. Like, I'm at peace. You know, like, he was there with his grandma. He was there with his dad. He was fine. He's like, I'm good. And in my head, I'm like, and then I got selfish and I'm like, you're okay, but I'm not okay. I'm still here without you. I'm still miserable. Like, I'm not okay. Like, and I think that that's kind of where another reason why I started a food disorder was because I was in pain from losing my best friend. And I think that like, I started eating more and more and more. And then, like, all the same activities that we did, I promise you guys, I didn't do that for like a long time. Like, I stopped football. I stopped going to soccer games. I stopped the hangouts that we went. Like, I just gave up on all that stuff because I was so depressed and sad. And I missed my best friend. And then the girl that they were fighting over, she didn't even like any of them. So I was so angry at her. And then, he went to trial and different stuff and was found guilty and spending a life sentence or whatever. But I was so angry that they both were the same age. We were both 17. All of us were 17. You threw your life away for a girl. It was all over a girl because you liked her and you couldn't have her and she didn't want you no more. So you didn't want this dude in the way. And it was like, you stole someone's life for a girl. Like, so to say all of that, guys, why I'm telling you guys this story is because I have a lot of young viewers and a lot of fans that are young. Don't waste your life for a girl or a guy. Like, if they don't want to be with you or they don't love you like that or they're talking to someone else, cut all ties with them because your life is worth more than that. And you don't know who the crazy ex-boyfriend is and you don't know who the crazy ex-girlfriend is. Like, don't put yourself in a situation like that. Like, I kept telling him to stop. Like, I kept telling him to leave it alone. And I've been in a situation like that. Not really, because anyone that I dated, most of their exes were gone 5 years ago before I come into the picture, and they don't even care anymore. Like, they just don't care anymore. Like, they're like, I'm happy for you. Like, I've never really had that problem, to deal with a crazy ex. I never have, and I don't plan on doing that. Like, I don't want to be in a situation like that. But... And out of respect for them, I'm not going to tell you his last names because I don't really need, no, I'm just not going to do that. I mean, it's out there. It's on Google. It's probably on YouTube. But, no. I don't want to give that person, that murderer, credit or anything. Not credit, but like any type of like notoriety or whatever the word is. Like, I'm not going to help him anymore. Like, he got his fame too because he was on every news channel. It was everywhere. It made it nationwide. Like, it was big, guys. It was big. So I'm so for gun safety, knife safety, all this stuff. I'm so for people being protected because I don't think that it's right. I don't think it's right. So I have lost someone to violence, and it's hard to live with. It really is. Like, that was the first person in my life that I was close to that died. And then the second person was my grandma. So it was like hard. I've lost two people that I truly cared about in my life that have died. And I don't think I could do it anymore. Like, I really do not think that I could deal with that heartache again. Like, guys, I was out. Like, I wasn't interested in anything except eating. Like, I didn't want to eat or anything. And, like, my church was what saved me, basically, because I could have, yeah. My church saved my life. They really did. Because I got so involved in church again, and I just, but it was hard for me to get close to people too. But then, you know, like I had other people that were still there that came around and were like, we're here, we're not leaving you. And I was like, okay. But anyways, guys, so that's my story. I'm sorry if I made you guys sad. But just be careful and know that you might think that it won't happen to you, and it can happen to you in a heartbeat. It can happen to you, because you could walk outside your front door and something happened to you, and then your family is victims of gun violence, like, or knife violence or whatever. So it's like, it can happen to you. Be careful and stay out of gangs, because he was in a gang too. So stay out of gangs. Like, just don't. And Florida has a lot of gangs, especially Miami. Like, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about that, because people could come after me for talking about it. So, I mean, just be careful, guys. Just be careful. But I love you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Have an awesome day. Go watch my video yesterday. It's part 2 of driving with Jama TV, my teacher. And we went, it was hard, guys, because I had to back out between 2 cars, and it was so scary. But I did it. I didn't hit nobody. And I got up to like 40 miles, guys. So it was 40, whatever the word is. But gonna go for that test. I gotta do the drug test, and then I gotta do the permit test. And as soon as I got my permits, guys, I'm good to go. And then I can save money to get a car. So all my money will be going to save a car. I might not even eat just to save enough to get a car. But I love you guys, and have an awesome day. Happy Sunday. Peace.